What's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. I upload weekly videos here helping you better understand your money. So if that's something you'd be into, consider subscribing. Today, I wanted to make a video talking about when to sell your calls and puts. There are two specific things I look for in knowing when it's time for me to either sell my calls or puts, or it's time for me to jump in. So let's get right into it. So here we are in the Thinkorswim platform. I wanted to jump into Thinkorswim just so you guys can see the chart and see exactly what it was that I was talking about. Now, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos where I talk about holding too long and trading on emotion, I highly suggest you guys check that out, because that is another key lesson in learning on when to sell and when to buy in. But for this topic, we're talking about two things that I look for when it's time to either buy or sell, and they're called higher highs and higher lows. So right here we see Apple opened up the day. This is actually a play I made today. This is Apple's chart as of November 13th. I had a put on Apple today. So right here, Apple spiked up and dropped, and it made its first low of the day. It went up, but it did not reach the same high as it did in the previous green candle or the previous high. This is called a lower high. As you can see, it went downward. Now it had another drop. Apple then proceeded to spike again. But as you can see, this high was still lower than the previous green candle. Now this continues. So right here, you may be thinking like, okay, maybe I should sell around here, lower high, lower high, lower high. So you might want to sell around here, which here, the biggest belief on this channel and the biggest thing I can tell anybody is that locking in profits is the most important thing, period. If you're locking in profits, you're not losing money. End of story. But if you're looking to know if this is a good selling point or if there's still more room to gain, then you would watch another spike. It made a lower high. So I was watching this as long as it keeps making lower highs, the stock is still losing momentum. So I held, and then you saw a larger gap down, and it had a green candle. This green candle was dramatically lower than the previous high. Now, right here, we see it repeated this process one more time, excuse me. So it made a lower high, and then it jumped up. It had a spike, and this spike was higher than the previous two highs. So what does this mean? I took this as a sign as an upcoming reversal. Apple was starting to gain strength, not totally, not for sure, it's in the process, but it's starting to gain strength. This is where I got very cautious. Now you see another spike and then another lower high. But from here, you can see that for the rest of the day, Apple made higher highs. But because of the early signals of a break of direction, you would have been able to catch all of this range as it kept going until it reached its high of 119.25. And back at this high, you can see it had another dip. This high was lower than the previous. Another dip, high was lower than the previous. This right here would have been a signal to sell. This would have been the ideal selling point. But this right here, as you can tell, is a signal to sell. Lower high, lower high. Stayed stagnant right here. Lower high, lower high. You can see the trend. So the point of me making this video is I really want you guys to understand what you're looking at when you're seeing a stock's chart. You don't need the indicators and every signal in the world, although some do help. This is just a simple way to read the stock's chart itself for momentum, break of direction, whether a stock is gaining or losing momentum. Just read the highs and the lows. If a stock continues to make newer highs, it's still increasing momentum. It is riding the momentum. But if you see that the highs are starting to get lower and the lows are starting to get lower, that's a sign that the stock is losing momentum. It may be time to lock in profits, put a put. But that's all for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please drop a like. And if you are new, consider subscribing. I upload weekly videos about topics like this, helping you better understand your money and ways for you to grow your money. But that's all, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Thank you.